I'm too loud, I'm too this, I'm too much, I'm too, like too much.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Shantal,
I'm Shenice.
and today we're talking about self image.
Yes.
So, self image is what you think about your personality, abilities, and your appearance. So, what is your self image?
My self image, I think I'm a really big personality. I think I have a really big personality. So sometimes I could enter a room and I say nothing, but I know that I need an entrance. And that comes out not just in my personality, but also in my appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, I'm wearing a simple black and white dress, but my hair is very extra. As well as in my abilities, I think that I really do believe that I could do anything. I believe that I have infinite God energy in me, and anything I put my mind to, I can do if I want to. So I try to be very intentional about the things I do actually execute. So yeah, I have a very positive, high self-image, I would say, about myself. What about you?
I think I have a pretty good personality. My personality, well, if I was to walk into a room, at first I'm very quiet, and that's because I'm kind of observing and taking in what's going on, how people are interacting, what their personalities are, and I tend to match energy. So people, I guess, homophily, people like what is similar to them. People like what is, people like themselves.
Mhm.
So when I match energy, it makes it easier for me to be liked, I guess. But my core personality, I think, once again, accommodates for people, and it kind of depends on my relationship with you.
Yeah.
In terms of my appearance, it's dependent once again on like what I have to do. So for this podcast, yeah, I mean, this outfit is not like, I mean, this outfit. Well, I wanted the jersey because it's always a good day to teach tiny humans. Rapping iron. And this pants, I got it from Community Closet. So, in terms of my appearance, yes, I know that I have to put on, put myself on, I guess, for the public. But in private, like if it was for me, like I don't really care much about appearance, pretty much. I use the law of least effort when it comes to appearances, unless it's like somewhere that I really want to dress up for and really want to like think of my appearance. Like we were discussing just today, like I was saying, we should be very particular about which events we want to go or when we do want to go out every month, and like choose a whole fantasy and like work towards that month to have that fantasy come alive on that one day, just in terms of our appearance. So it depends. Sometimes I care about it, sometimes I don't. And in terms of my abilities, just like you, I feel like I'm capable of doing anything. I feel like humans are magnificent in that way, and your thoughts control like your life and what you do. And with anything, there'll be challenges, but once you learn from the challenges, it helps you to be able to do that thing. So, I was gonna add in a question actually.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, what do you? I wanted to say what I think your abilities, appearance, and personality is, and then you could do the same for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So for you, I would think your appearance is very pretty much put together. Like if we're going on like a random errand, you have this kind of dress that you would usually wear, or it's like a long flowy dress, and like, or if I meet her at home, she would be in like a crop top and like a yoga pants, and so I would say like you express yourself or your moods a lot through your clothing and your appearance, and you always do put that extra thing, like whether it be your hair or a hat or some sort of like maybe like a conversational piece or like a statement piece, I would say. In terms of your personality, with us, like when it's just both of us, I would say that you talk a lot as compared to when we go out. You would say less, but you would be way more direct and blunt. Whereas, whereas with us, you would have that, but you would also have a lot of opinions to support that. So it doesn't come across as blunt because of all the supporting factors you add to it. And in terms of your abilities, I think you're really capable. Like your life, you have a very strong work ethic, is what I want to say. So yeah, that's my view of you.
For me, I think that when it comes to your personality, you have a personality that indeed you definitely do mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You do mirror, but it's done so well that you don't realize you're mirroring. I notice you're mirroring when we're out,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, you do it, and you do it so well, and it really does help you be more likable. I actually admire that about you.
Yeah.
Um, and in terms of your appearance, it's it's almost like moods, but not. It's really how you feel about what you're
What's your
going to
doing?
do,
Yeah.
right? So it's not so much the mood that you're in, but it's how you feel about it. So like if we're going out, you feel like okay, you know what you want to get out of that situation, so you dress accordingly. For
Mm-hmm.
school,
Yeah.
you feel kind of like you love it, you relax, so you dress accordingly. But when it comes to island, you dress like I'm making money every day. This is my business,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
so that's how you definitely exhibit that in your appearance. And your abilities. But I've already told you, I think that you're a high achiever. Like,
Yeah.
I think that you could literally be president if you wanted to.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's how I feel about. That's my opinion about your self-image or my image of you.
Your image of my self-image. Yeah. Okay. What questions do we have?
So now we're gonna ask a few questions. Again, this one is a family related. So, how has your family background influenced your values, aspirations, and sense of identity?
Values, aspirations, and sense of identity. So, in terms of the values, my family, well, they love to celebrate things. So, I always make time for family. Like, even though I may not be living with them as much as before, I still want to live with them. So, I still would like visit once a week or spend a night throughout the week or something. And whenever my families are having celebrations, like I always make time to attend the celebrations because family is a huge deal for me, and that's because of my family, of course. So even though I have my family where like I'm a daughter, I also have a family where I am the mom and a partner and all of this. So because of that, I place a lot of value on my family, and I want to have traditions and I want to have celebrations and the same thing. So that is how my family has affected my values in terms of my aspirations. My dad has always told me from young and growing up, like education is the key. So I've always been like a lover of learning. I've always done like secondary school, tertiary education, then another degree, then another diploma, then a certificate. I've always want to be in school, and straight out of UE, the first job I got was to be a teacher, and then it just kind of progressed from one teaching job to the next from then. So I feel like education has been a big part of my life. So now that I have my own school, and it's not just for a particular age group or for a particular set of people, but just for anybody that wants to learn, it feels right, and it feels like it's sourced from my dad drilling into me that education is key. So values, aspirations, and
Your sense of identity.
my sense of identity. Well, I feel like my family, consciously or not, intentionally or not, has played a huge role in my sense of identity. I've I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but I always try to make my parents proud. As old as I am and being a parent myself, I'm still trying to make my parents proud. So a lot of the things I do is maybe subconsciously for their approval. Um, but a lot of the things that they tell me, and I hold dear to my heart, and I kind of want to emulate that. And yeah, but now as an adult, I really have to say like the negative things that they do say. I have to be like, you know what, that's not my story. I'm not gonna attach that to me. That's just their opinion. They don't really know. So it's up to me to show them differently. So yeah. What about you?
With regards to my family dynamic was so strange. So in terms of values, my mom's real traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why I still believe in marriage and I still believe in a nuclear family and all of this, because we are very traditional. Like, as big as I am, cannot go and sleep with a man in my mother's house unless we are married.
Yeah.
You know? So I still have those type of very traditional type of viewpoints when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to things in life. I mean, I believe in abortion, but at the same time, I am very pro the marriage,
Yeah.
like, you know how I am. And I don't believe in it as just that. Oh yeah, I go to church marriage. Like, it's a whole contract. It's a construct. It's bigger than just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my family, the family I grew up in, has played a big role in my values, because I am the first one to have a degree. And I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be the first one to have my master's, to have my PhD. And yeah, those are the things that are important. Having a good job. So I am a bit of a rebel,
Mm-hmm.
because the values are to go to school, get a degree, get a good job. I went to school, I got a degree, I had a good job, but then I decided, oh yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I'm not doing it in the way they want you to. They want you to have a full-time job and still hustle and be an entrepreneur and be an entrepreneur and just be rich.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start small. So I'm kind of rebelling in that way.
Yeah.
In terms of my aspirations, nobody in my family has been an entrepreneur. So this is interesting that I am becoming this,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not like, it's not something I saw. Like, it is and it isn't. I saw my mother try everything. My mother was doing drapery at the time. She was catering. She was doing landscaping. So many different things she was doing as hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
not as careers. And I don't know if it's in seeing her doing those things that I decided to try all these things, and now I'm here. But I'm very grateful that I saw her try things and see her stay in the rat race for so long, to know maybe that I don't want that. I didn't want to be in the rat race for the rest of my life. I don't want to know, okay, I'm going to work here for 30 years and this is how much I'm going to make. I want to know that I can make $1 million, trillion, $billion.
Yeah.
I want to know that the amount that I can make is infinite. The possibilities are infinite. I don't want to know that, oh yeah, I could grow. I could be a manager and then a CEO. No, I want to be beyond that. Like, the sky, beyond the sky is the limit, you know. Like, so I am not sure what my family did. I don't know if it's maybe seeing them play so small, play so neat, play so, you know, played it by the rules so much that it has pushed me to not.
Mm-hmm.
And to not break the rules in a bad way, but push the envelope in a positive way and see what I could make of myself. And that, in terms of my sense of identity, it has helped me be able to see that I am definitely black sheep, but not in a bad way. I'm black and glittering and sparkling, and I am like this magnificent creature in my family, where I kind of feel the pressure of having to actualize before it's too late. Like, I feel like if I don't become the thing or do the thing, or like, I feel like I'll be disappointing them and letting them down. I have no idea where that's coming from, because they do not put the pressure on me in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely do feel that the family that I was raised in, everything that happened has helped me to become this force in life.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. The next question we have, or really statement, can you discuss a scenario where someone told you something about yourself and you believed it, a limiting belief?
Yeah. Growing up, my mom would, well, she is a fashionista, you know. She used to win awards for dressing up in St. Lucia, where she's from. So growing up, she would always remind us of that. And me, she would let me know that, you know, you can't dress, you have no taste. And not in a way to like bring me down, but in just comparing her taste to mine and it being so different. She just felt like she needed to tell me how to dress and stuff. And I believed her. I believe like I can dress, I have no taste, I need somebody to kind of show me how to do it. And then I started watching a show called RuPaul's Drag Race, which consists of men dressing as women and looking amazing. And I realized that fashion is not just this one thing. Fashion can be anything. And fashion is crazy, you know, there's no coloring within the lines when it comes to fashion. So I realized that I could be a fashionista, you know. I have my own taste. It may be different from yours, but that doesn't mean it's no taste. Um, I mean, I know I see it sound looking like this, but yeah. This is fashion. Sorry, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but it's fashion,
Fashion.
right? And comment below if you think it's not. I'm ready to go. Anyways, my dad telling me when I did SEA and CXC. Okay, so when I did CXC, I felt like I really tried my hardest, you know, like we were doing all nighters. I was going over my friends and doing all nighters and like really putting in the work. And when my results came, I got ones and twos. And when I told my dad, he was like, his first response was, so you couldn't get all ones? And I think immediately my mom was like, don't tell the child that. She did really well. What do you mean? Ones and twos that's excellent, blah, blah, blah. But I held on to that so you couldn't get whatever. And I felt like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough, you know? Like, I tried my hardest and it just wasn't good enough. And that's just life, you know? And I kind of just kept on with that feeling until UE, where I just didn't really feel to give my best anymore. Just like, well, I'm not good enough anyways, so might as well do what I want. And I was partying a lot and stuff like that. And until the second year in UE, where I felt like, no one, let me actually give my best and put my best foot forward and try and graduate with honors and all these things. And I think it was only recently that I traced, because when I started Ireland, the feeling of not being good enough came back out of nowhere. And I really had to trace it back to that moment and be like, well, why did I feel that way, you know? Why did I believe that? So that definitely is one. And I have an opposite one to say, where you actually told me that I was a high achiever. And I've never considered myself a high achiever. And it was only until she said that I figured, you know what? I'm choosing to believe this. You know what? I am a high achiever. And since then, like, I've done so much. I've achieved so much. I believe in myself so much. And that's why I'm here right now, you know, doing this podcast and starting Ireland and doing all these amazing things. Because, yeah, I heard something positive and I chose to believe it. And it had like a huge positive effect on my life. So what about you?
When I was younger, I was very like expressive, right? And that carried it till I got older. And all throughout my school life, I remember being told that I'm too loud, I'm too this, I'm too much, I'm too, you know, like too much. And that was just something I constantly heard. I remember being young and in Girl Guides and somebody called me obnoxious before I even know what it would mean. And it definitely was like, obnoxious? Like, what is that? Like, I felt it was such a big word and I didn't understand.
But see, like, you know, it wasn't something
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't something positive.
Yeah.
It just felt like, okay, I am a problem, right? And that carried until I was older. And then I remember being in this relationship with this guy, and not for nothing, I couldn't do nothing right. I was always too much or too dramatic or too this or too that.
Not good enough.
Yeah, and it just, I couldn't understand, like, and it wasn't him saying it, you know, it was my friends and his friends. It was everybody else telling me. And it made me feel like, okay, I need to draw back. So I started talking softer. When me and him broke up, I started talking softer. I started just being less, pull back less, not interacting as much, not socializing as much, come off of committees, just really retreating and isolating and really sticking to my circle. And that really like, yeah, it had me, I was convinced. And I'm not really sure what snapped me out of it. I think it was just after we broke up, I started to just say, you know what, I want to be comfortable in who I am. I don't have to be loud, but I want to be myself. So I kind of needed to figure out how to transmute that and still be graceful, still kind of figure out who I was. And yeah, in us spending more time together, you have definitely helped me switch that. Like, I know being friends with Chanel helped me like love myself and accept myself, right? And just be positive. Like, Chanel showed me how to switch things and just be positive. Look at everything in a good way. Ha ha ha, kiki, just keep it pushing, be positive. But you definitely was like, okay, so why not? Let me do it. And that when you guys get you a friend that challenges you, because it definitely will push you past your limits. It will make you do a podcast. It will make you start a thrift business. It will make you be so intentional. You'll get sick of yourself. So just be careful if you're not ready for the accountability. Like it could be a lot, because having to face yourself is a lot. So thank you for helping me face myself and overcoming that limiting belief of being too much. Because it's so wild. Like, this production is being produced by KenSamry.com, and he's one of the people in my life that literally I thought I was too much with Ken, and he never said that. He never made me feel that way. He always made space for me to just be myself, be Shenice. He never ever said a thing, but just it being in UE and just hearing it all over the place. Like, I was on his
You believed
committee,
it,
and I
yeah.
always pulled myself back. I always did less because I felt like I don't want to be too much. So thank you, Ken, for making space for me regardless. Thank you, Shantal, for making space, and I'm glad I could help you find space for yourself, because it really is challenging finding your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important to surround yourself with people who uplift you, who see you for who you truly are and not just what they project onto you, as well as people who can communicate what you need to improve on in a healthy way, in a way that inspires you to want to improve on that on your own or for them. I do want to say, I think it's also important what you tell people, because
Yes.
my dad, for example, saying that, he probably didn't even mean anything by that,
Yeah.
and it had like a lifelong, not a lifelong, but like a years of effects, So I think it's very important what you tell people, especially those who you love,
Yeah.
especially those who look up to you, so yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much to KenSamry.com for producing this podcast and allowing us to be here talking to all of you guys. And make sure to tell us in the comments, what do you think of your self-image, and what has anybody told you that either limited your belief or, gave you the will to believe in.
Yes. I'm Shenice.
I'm Shantal, and thank you for watching the podcast. Bye.